Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I have a road trip reading recommendation video for you. So, at the end of April, I am taking a road trip down to Disneyland and then to Vegas. So I thought I'd recommend some books that would be great if you're going on a road trip this summer or this for spring break. Let's see, so all of these books have either a road trip element to them, or they'd be good on a long drive wherever you're going. So without further ado, let's get into this. So the first book that I would recommend would be Ready Player One. This is a science fiction-ish world set in the near future where basically everything on Earth has kind of gone to shit and everybody is always plugged into this video game system, like this worldwide video game system called the Oasis. And when the creator of this gaming system and this online community dies, he basically leaves this challenge that if anybody can complete these 3 tasks, they will basically own all of the Oasis. So Wade Watts, our main character, kind of accidentally stumbles upon the first clue, and so basically he sets off this huge worldwide panic basically to finish the challenge and own the Oasis. This is like a delightful science fiction read. This would be like the perfect summer road trip read. It's pretty long, but it's not nearly as dense as you would think. It's super easy to read through. I think I read it in a couple of days when I read it. It's super fast paced. It's high energy. There's all sorts of really cool 80s pop culture references and nostalgia galore through this whole thing, and I really did love this book and I would highly recommend it for a road trip. The next book that I would recommend would be The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. This is a young adult historic fiction. So this book follows Monty, who is kind of like this roguish, bisexual, hedonistic teenager. His best friend Percy and Monty's sister Felicity as they go on this tour of Europe. So it's a grand tour. So basically they're going around Europe trying to meeting people and establishing connections for Monty for the future when he takes over his father's estate. So Monty wants anything but working on this estate when he gets back. So this is basically Monty's last hurrah before he has to rein in his hedonistic ways, and basically Monty messes everything up when he steals something from somebody that he shouldn't have. Pretty much everything goes to shit and Monty, his sister, and Percy are on the run. A super great novel if you're looking for something that's like a road trip, but also kind of a romance, and I love the romance in this because Monty and Percy kind of push through their issues and figure out that they both like each other and that they both had mutual crushes on each other for the longest time. And this book is a delightful read, and it does have this huge element of a road trip. So this would be perfect for if you're going on a short jaunt for vacation. This is a perfect vacation spring break read, and it's really cute and it's so endearing. And the second book is coming out sometime later this year. I highly recommend it. It's so cute. The next book that I would recommend would be The Glass Shards. So this follows Wilhelmina, and she is basically the 4th child of the king of this land, and she has been kind of kept as a secret from most people, from the people of their land, so they don't really know much about Wilhelmina. So Wilhelmina kind of acts as this go-between and a spy, and she loves her brothers dearly and she helps them all with these weird tasks. But one day Wilhelmina kind of develops this weird power where she can turn people into gemstones just by touching them, when she has these super strong feelings, and pretty much causes an accident with one of her brothers, and then basically she just bolts. She is forced to leave her kingdom. Everybody thinks she's dead, and then she kind of ends up on this weird road trip with these people that kind of kidnap her because they need help figuring out how to fix their own kingdom and to help prevent a war. And this book I highly recommend. This book kind of stole my breath away when I read it the first time, and it's just a beautiful story, and it's got this really cool, almost like a Lion King vibe to it. The Glass Bear is kind of this awesome pirates meets high fantasy meets steampunk, and I would highly recommend this for any kind of vacation read. This is a super quick read, and it's just such a good story that'll stick with you. Let's see, the next book that I would recommend for a road trip read would be The Hazelwood. This one I would recommend if you're going on a long drive, because this one you won't want to put down. You'll want to read this whole thing in one sitting. It follows the story of Alice, Prosper Pine and her mother Ella as they kind of like outrun this bad luck that they have following them. And Alice's grandmother is an author, and she wrote this set of really super creepy fairy tales that are super popular. And when Alice's grandmother passes away, Alice and her mother stop running. And then one day Alice's mother is kidnapped, and from there Alice teams up with one of her classmates who is a super fan of her grandmother's, and basically they go looking for the people that stole her mother. And the people who kidnapped her mother they claim to be fairy tale characters from her grandmother's novels. So it's a really interesting, very dark fairy tale. I would almost say it's got the same like twisted edge to it that the original Grimm's Brothers fairy tales did. Like it's that kind of creepy, like draws you in, won't let go until you're done kind of read. And I would highly recommend it. And then the last set of books that I would recommend would be the Becca Cooper series by Tamora Pierce. These are a Tortallin Saga series of books. These follow Becca Cooper and her journey to become a provost dog, which is basically the Tortallin Police Department. And these are like a police procedural set of books set in this high fantasy kingdom, and I absolutely love it because you get all of these really cool details about these trials and capturing bad guys, and I just love these books. And these are like the perfect road trip read because I think books 2 and 3 actually do take place on the road, and they do have road trip elements to them, and I love them. And these are some of my favorite types of books to read on a road trip. For one, high fantasy, 2, police procedural, investigations and crap. But these I would highly recommend for a long road trip because you can easily read these if you're going to be on vacation for a week, say like I'm going to be. These would be perfect to take along with you, so that way you could keep reading and enjoy an entire series while on vacation. So those are my road trip reading recommendations for you. What books do you guys like to read on road trips or vacations? I love reading high fantasy pretty much anytime, but especially on the road trip because I like to keep my mind occupied with something that's different. Thank you guys for joining me for my road trip reading recommendations. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. You can also hit the notification button to get notifications when I post a new video. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links in the description box. Alrighty, bye guys!